Hello.
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 Wow.
What's up, Veronica?
What's up, Harrison?
Oh, a lot of things are up. Trust me. A lot of things.
Okay.
Okay. That's how we're starting the vibe because I'm Harrison, as she said, actually. You
Yeah?
introduced me before
Yeah. You introduced me before you introduced you.
This is the vibe that we're going because I'm Harrison. I'm joined by Veronica. And we just want to talk about anything that really entertains us. And boy, are we entertained. But really, just to clean up our never-ending backlog. That could look very weird, Veronica. But yes, I don't have... We'll explain that in a bit. Because sometimes, Veronica, we would say, or some would say, we are conversing.
Wow, like NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo.
But
That was what
right
Harrison said.
above.
Yes.
Right here. I
Right
always
there.
have to check now still, but it's fine. I've done this for years, and it's more like I
You're
was
the
off
one
by
that
position.
edits it.
Well, it's because for a year I think I was off. I was like probably here versus here, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter because you could watch every episode on YouTube.com or listen to it as a podcast by checking out NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice. This video is also sponsored by Olipop, but we'll get to that later.
Yes, later.
Specifically, Veronica, this episode, I've been waiting for this episode. I didn't realize how much I've been waiting for this episode. I can't believe we are talking about MCU content in probably a year?
I think
Like,
so, yeah.
legitimately, right? Because
Like,
I haven't
legit,
really
yeah.
kept up. I just kind of let things slide. And we're actually going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Thus,
Hence my shirt.
I wore all my stuff. And I can't wear it now. But it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's all good.
It's fine.
So we watched this. So as of recording, we watched this on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get it to opening night. Most likely you cannot get the popcorn bucket. I shot my shot and just asked. Just out of curiosity. And I already knew. But he just said, oh, we're out. I'm like, that's fine. It's okay. I didn't notice. Or I didn't notice until like I looked it up. Did you know that each movie theater had like a version?
Yeah.
So because there was one that was like, excuse me, there's one that was advertised specifically, and it was like making fun of the Dune one, and I thought that was just gonna be the Universal one.
Oh yeah, no.
But no, it was not.
It's not.
I was at mine. It was gonna be the Deadpool head. Because I know they had a Wolverine one that some people are like, oh, it's just a pop-off head.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, ours has Deadpool. Of course, it ran out.
It ran out, yeah.
If I went opening night, that would have been like instant buy.
Or you should have just gone in the morning, like matinee, and just be like, hey, I need one. I'm sure they'll get more in.
I'm sure they will. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
Just go watch it a second time.
No, I would. And we'll talk about that because I actually would.
Yeah,
For the first time in a long time, I would. Just to start off, we're going to talk non-spoiler thoughts just to play it safe. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
Because oh dear God, I avoided the internet for the longest time. And it was worth it. I will say it off the bat, worth it. And yeah, we'll get to the details and we'll let you know once we start spoilers.
I agree. Because listen, I'm usually giving out news to this friend group, and all this week I was just a silent gal. And I had like carpal tunnel issues, so I couldn't even play games. So I was just watching stuff. Like actually watching stuff. Like catching up. Yeah, it was hard. And then after yesterday, like right after the movie ended, I was like, let me just go on TikTok.
No, I avoided not really avoided, but I think I catered my algorithm to like not touch anything,
like
and it
not
really
touch
did.
anything.
It
Yeah.
really didn't. I was able to like I didn't see shit.
No,
So that was good.
I knew I would have seen something.
I know you would have.
I knew I would have seen
100%.
And then our friend that was inspired for us to make this podcast, he is his own worst enemy because he's the type of guy that doesn't like spoilers. Like myself and Harrison's brother, like we love, like if we want to be spoiled, like we'll go look for it. Like I will personally like go Google it. But our friend is like a spoiler-free guy, and somehow he got spoiled. only one that got spoiled too this entire week.
I truly believe if you can make it to where you don't, like, if you're smart enough, you can avoid this stuff. And I say this as what I do is literally just stay on incognito for a lot of stuff and then just leave it at that.
Yeah. No, that's a smart way to do it. Or just go off grid, like me. You just go off grid.
She does. Yeah. I will say, so off the bat, it's been a long time. Just, I haven't had this feeling watching an MCU movie or just watching MCU. And like, I honestly want to say
pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm. Because I know when we started doing the podcast, it was right when Phase 4 started. So WandaVision, and well, we were stuck because we wanted.
Well, we didn't have anything.
We wanted a way to hang out anyway. So yeah, it really was right. And now we're stuck here.
Yes.
But I haven't felt this way watching a movie in a long time. Like,
we haven't
like waiting for like the hype, waiting for like, it's like trying to avoid things. Like usually I think I'd stop caring about it's a property I don't care about, or a property, an IP that they botch a little bit or don't know how to continue. Whatever you think of Deadpool, like whatever you think of it, I try to restrain from understanding. Like I try to like not hype myself up, because before this we did see how there was like early screening tests and then or any early preview reviewings, and people were like, no, this is it.
No,
I'm like,
people are like,
I've heard this before. I'm like, I've heard this before, but for a different, for the company
for
down
the wrong
street.
Reasons. No.
You'll get that. But
soon.
I am still thinking about this movie, and it's been a while since I've done that. I will say, for
probably
MCU.
Since Endgame, for me personally, I don't think I felt this way since Endgame. Like where I avoid the internet completely, and then like good reviews, like actual like good reviews and ratings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie was like, and the PR, like Ryan Hugh, they were everywhere. They are everywhere doing interviews and everything. So it just felt like we went back into like 2019 era, and it was really nice. And you know what? There was not a lot of leaks.
I am very impressed with how much didn't. Yeah. I mean, if there was, again, our friend got spoiled by one thing, but in retrospect,
it was minor. That was a very minor thing.
I won't. Yeah, I don't want to give off too much either.
Yeah.
It was minor. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? The Comic-Con in San Diego, Ryan just like spoiled like the cast, because it was just kind of like, it felt like very like 2019 MCU when that happened.
Yes.
When I saw that clip, I was like, oh,
yeah,
we're getting a little serious here.
Yeah, and I'm actually amazed I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, same.
Like, I'm actually amazed I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah.
So and again, I don't know if it's just because my algorithm's like avoiding that. Like, it's just not on that. No, I didn't. Again, if you can avoid as much as you can before you watch this,
do it.
It's good. Do it. And I think you have to watch Deadpool 1 for sure. Mm-hmm. And
you have to understand 2, but you don't have to like remember much.
Yes.
Because that was me, because I knew what happened in 2, but I was like, I'm not going to remember the whole thing.
And because it's in the trailer, if you watch the trailer, I will say this, you don't really have to have MCU knowledge. Again, we're going back to this thing, right? I never thought I'd have to worry about like knowing stuff.
Yeah.
It's not too much. You kind of just have to understand what the general direction is for MCU right now, like what they're looking at.
And it's like a sprinkle of stuff. You know? Like obviously Wolverine, you have to understand his character, Logan, obviously, to kind of get this movie. Just a little bit.
I guess you'll appreciate more if you knew about other properties.
Yeah.
Like specifically Fox stuff, I guess, would make sense because this is their first foray into Disney.
Yeah.
Not really first, but it's like it's been a while, I'd say.
And I think Ryan did a good job transitioning from like Fox to Disney,
Fantastic.
Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I 100% recommend this movie.
Oh yeah. Go
on
watch
the ride
it.
home. Yeah, go watch it. Just do it. I know
Yeah.
I've heard, and it was funny because my wife was in a coffee shop at one point, and she was, it was like some local coffee shop, and she was just there studying for a little bit, and she heard someone like start talking, and it was like a girl like, oh, I don't usually watch it, but oh my god, that was so pleasant, and she's like, is this Deadpool? And she just like puts on her headphones.
Oh no. You know, and also all of our friends in our friend group all watched it around the same time. Same day, same time. And it was just so funny because we were like actually talking about it. We were quoting it. We weren't even like shitting on the movie. It was just a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to say too much, not trying to spoil too much,
Yeah.
but yes, overall, I recommend this movie, hands down. Like,
do you think this will revive MCU? That's the question that has been poised like everywhere.
I don't think so,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Right.
So here's the thing: how they handled the movie felt very MCU.
Yeah.
It took care of it. This is what they do good. They do very good with continuity. They do very well with like keeping everything consistent, and it has to fit within
The timeline.
scope, and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it will, because here's the thing: it's all about how they handled the character, still, in my opinion. And because Deadpool was already kind of beloved with like how Ryan Reynolds and like the team handled it back with Fox, and like 1, even like 2, I think is the weakest movie now. But
it is, yeah.
But they still kept it in scope of like what Deadpool is. But this did it like way better. And I think there's that pool of like, it's just like we are understanding the movie. And then plus, let's be real, Wolverine also has a pull too. So like, Hugh Jackman has that pull anyway. So a lot of people are watching for what they already know. I don't know if we are reviving what is to come.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Because after this is actually Captain America, Brave New World, right? February 2025.
And I've seen the trailer a couple of times, and I'm like, and I think,
and it was in the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes, yeah. I think again, I still am interested, but not like. I don't know if
I don't know if it'll make us.
This got me hopeful in that maybe they can handle stuff nicely, but we're also. There's that, like I said, MCU continuity and restriction of like how they had to handle things within scope, within universe, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm super excited for the new stuff still. Like I probably will get more excited as we get closer. It's just all the recent stuff has just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I just
I agree.
Hesitant. But
this was just kind of like refreshing.
Yes.
This is just too refreshing.
Refreshing and low-key nostalgic at some like, level.
At some points,
so,
yeah. And I was watching some interviews with Hugh, and like he kept saying, because Logan
Did you say Hugh?
Oh yeah, sorry.
You're thinking huge, right?
Yeah, huge. Huge. No, but he was like in his own interviews, and he was talking about how Logan ended in 2017, right? And so a couple days before Logan premiered, he was like, oh, I'm retiring the character. And then like the following year was like Deadpool. And so in this interview, I think it was with Jimmy Kimmel, I don't remember, but like he was just like, oh yeah, after seeing Deadpool 1, I had to reconsider.
He's like, I already regret it.
Yeah, he was
I think I saw the same thing, and he's like, I literally just put my retirement on that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then dang it.
He wanted to be back in it. No, which is like really funny because him and Ryan are like really good friends. Mm-hmm. So it's just interesting to see Wolverine kind of just like come back. Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting.
It was good. So I know we're like starting to lean into like wanting to talk about this, everything about it. Overall, I think, again, recommend this movie. I think the plot was actually really good. The pacing was really. I didn't feel like the movie was long at all.
2 hours, 7 minutes.
Yeah, it did not feel that long. It felt like it was going. It was like moving, and I was like, oh, we're here. I'm like, this is great. And there's just so much in this movie that I can't say if you haven't seen.
Yeah, we were treading lightly right here. Yeah.
I'm sticking to what was kind of shown ad-wise. Yeah. So, Veronica, we do like this, and we're going to talk about it a bit more. We'll go into spoilers after we talk about our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Olipop, the soda your gut will thank you for. Yes, I'm talking to you, all of you. All right, have you ever missed that classic soda pop feeling? You know, the fizz, the flavor, but without the sugar crash and the guilt trip? Yeah, me too, you too, Harrison too? All of us. That's why I'm introducing to you Olipop, the soda that's bursting with flavor and good for you too. I actually have my favorite one here, strawberry vanilla. But the other weird one that I enjoyed was banana cream. I know, it's weird, super weird, but this is my favorite. Number 1, because it only has 3 grams of sugar per can, plus it has 9 grams of prebiotic fiber. And you know what you need with fiber? To use the restroom. Hee. But yeah, that means that you're going to have a happy and healthy gut with every sip. And it looks like that they took everything we loved about classic soda and upgraded to a modern, healthy conscience person. Like you, like me, like Harrison. My co-partner. My co-host. That's not here right now. So ditch the compromise and experience the soda revolution for yourself. Don't forget to use our promo code NgoVo15 NgoVo15 to get 15% off your first order on drinkolipop.com.
And we're back.
Wow, what a quick
I'm
ad.
kind of thirsty.
Wow, just thirsty. Coffee?
Oh yeah, thanks. You're right. But thirsty for other things like spoilers.
Oh my god.
Okay, we're gonna talk about spoilers now, and so anything is free game at this point because there is so much in this movie.
Oh yeah, too much.
What did we touch on first? Did we touch on like just like the plot wise, or like did we touch on? Okay, you know what? Yeah, how did you feel they handled getting Deadpool in? Like, what kind? Did you expect the kind of story that we were getting? Like, I didn't expect that. Honestly,
I didn't expect it at all. I had no, like, I know the trailer they dropped a little bit of TVA. Like, we saw some of like the agents, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know how they would lean into
how much they would, right?
How much they would lean into TVA, the multiverse, which is currently what we're in, right? Mm-hmm. And so I came into it just kind of like low standards. I was like, oh boy, how is Ryan going to add himself into the multiverse? And he made fun of it.
Oh yeah.
He made so much fun of it.
I love how he just like, speaking of multiverse, I didn't catch that he went to 616 right away.
Yes.
Trying to get an interview with Happy. And I'm like, this is actually hilarious. Like, this is great.
I really thought he was going to kiss Happy when they were like leaving. I was like, oh, this looks like a good montage of like.
I bet you there's a behind the scenes and there's an outtake of that. Because at this point, anything is free game, right?
Oh, yeah. And also, I was like, it's Deadpool and Wolverine, asterisk Deadpool and Friends. So in my head, I was like, how are they going to get Wolverine in? And then that opening sequence really told you what was going to happen.
Oh, okay. Opening sequence, right? Okay, let's just start off the bat. They always have a song for their intro, right?
Yes.
And I didn't realize that I actually probably did get spoiled by this. All I heard was NSYNC. And I was like,
okay, yeah.
But I didn't think anything of it because at that point I'm like, it doesn't matter. I don't know what song.
It could have been anything.
It could have been anything. And it was so good. They went rated R off the bat, and I was like,
No,
"This
they
is
did.
beautiful." And
you know what? I've missed hand-to-hand combat.
yeah,
Legit. And that was the most beautiful opening sequence of music and fighting.
I just love right off the bat. He's like, "How do we not desecrate what Logan left behind? We don't. We don't. We don't stop."
I love how he has like a temper while he's just like digging up Logan.
And then finally he sees, it's like, "You can't be dead."
He's like, "I'm more calm now." Then it pans over to Deadpool.
Adamantium like skeleton. So good.
Yes.
And it makes sense. Like, again, I like how they bring in TVA because it makes sense now. Like,
yeah,
I think the TVA does help bridge a lot of random stuff where it's like, oh, now they have a canonical reason to have multiverse like interaction, right?
Yeah, and I think that's why Loki
the transition was
easier. Like so important, especially like right now. Also, transition is easy, but it was also really funny in the opening sequence. TVA were like, "Drop your weapons." And in my head, I was like, "Oh, Deadpool is totally just gonna use Logan right now." I was like, "Oh no!"
Beating TVA with the remains of Logan.
Yes.
Dancing to Bye Bye.
But I love how he actually put on like Wolverine's claws. He goes, "It's hard being Wolverine."
Oh, I just miss how vulgar Deadpool is, like with the humor. Because it's just like a lot of like stabbing, like hitting or stabbing like balls, like hitting.
Ooh, I heard some men groan.
Oh, I did. Me too. I saw
that.
I was like,
we were like around, and some men were like, "Ooh."
Ooh.
It was like, ooh.
I don't know.
It was good. No, that was like one of the best opening sequences.
It's been a while. It's been good.
Been a while.
And again, I ended up comparing to like Deadpool 2 a lot more. Like I like Celine Dion, but I thought it was funny. Right? Celine Dion was 2,
Celine
right?
Dion. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Like, but this was just really good. Like I think you could tell budget was there. It just felt good. It was funny.
It was. And you know how you like MCU, they just do like the logo at the beginning, and then like you can hear him singing, and then like when they start fighting, it was just really nice to see like the names of people on the bones.
On the bones?
Yeah.
It was so Deadpool.
It was good. It was so Deadpool.
Because he's done it every time. Like for both. They've done it every time for both. Consistency, right? So I love that they let the team handle Deadpool the way they would before, right?
In the most rated R way.
Yeah. But you kind of touched on it. So we had that whole sequence. Then we had a Wolverine montage because he's like trying to find Wolverine. Well, no. They explain his backstory, and it kind of makes sense because we talked about how like, he's happy and all that. I like how they still bring in the old characters, and it just feels very raunchy still whenever you talk to them. But it's like the humor. I think the humor is just too good.
I was cackling throughout this whole movie.
Yeah.
It was good. Deadpool trying to find like the right Wolverine.
Because
good.
Again, a rogue section of TVA also makes sense because it's like at first if you've watched a lot of stuff from like MCU, at least TVA related, you're like, this shouldn't be happening because technically B-15 is now in charge.
Yep.
And so it's like, why are they letting them purge? That's kind of weird. Oh, rogue sector. Yeah, all right, that makes sense. All right, can we go through the Wolverine montage real quick?
Yes.
Which ones? There's so many, right?
There is a lot.
I love off the bat we get the short King Wolverine essentially.
King
The
Wolverine.
canonical height Wolverine, and even he's like, oh my.
What was he saying? Oh yeah, he was like, oh, comic book accurate short king. Accurate. But then he starts like moving away. It's just you see like Hugh Jackman's head or face on that body, you're like, oh, that's tiny. Oh, that's ooh. Yeah.
but it's like he just hopped off the chair, and it's just hilarious.
I'm sure Ryan was just having a ball with whoever was playing that.
Which ones did you recognize?
I recognized there was a specific name, but the one on the cross.
Oh, the crucified one?
The crucified one. I recognized the crucified one. I recognized the one versus Hulk, which I didn't think we would see Hulk for like 5 seconds.
5 seconds, but it was worth it.
Yeah. I love how Deadpool was like, I'm not here for you. This is not you.
This one.
Yeah. Also, Henry Cavill.
Dude, okay. I should have known that this is the start of like what they do with people. Because the Wolverine, like Henry Cavill as Wolverine was like such like a talked about fan cast.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, who would play Wolverine if because Hugh Jackman's retired, right? Like, what if?
Yeah. Also, because Henry Cavill was like, I'm done with DCU, but I'm not done with superheroes. And he's always like, in interviews, he's always like, MCU, if you want me, like, I can play anything.
Oh.
So, like, they went in on this one.
Dude, they played it so well that, like, he's just working on the bike, and you're like, the farm boy, and you're like, oh, that's probably Wolverine. And then as we got closer, like, no joke, I was like, I don't think that's Hugh Jackman. That's not his back. That's not his biceps. This guy's jacked.
That was the Witcher.
Then he turns, and then like I'm like, Henry Cavill. I was like, oh, this is beautiful.
That one line.
I think so. The ones there's some other ones, and I think they had Weapon Omega, which was like the very feral one leaning against the wall.
Yeah,
that one was cool. They had Patch Wolverine, and again, I just love how they're all violent and just like, stop it, stab. And then legitimate old man Logan, like with the cowboy hat and like sitting on the porch, like that's because I know
with the shotgun.
With a shotgun, because in that universe he's like, or in the Logan universe, I know they tried to base him off old man Logan, so it was actually really nice to see that this is legit old man Logan too.
Yeah, no, that was nice to see.
I think the craziest one was like Henry Cavill. The one that got me like crazy, like hyped was Hulk versus Wolverine. Cause
that one got your brother too.
Because that's actually how I got introduced to Deadpool. Was that animated movie? That was the moment that I was like, I learned of Deadpool and I fell in love with the character because I was like,
more.
And I needed more. And that was when I started going down the rabbit hole of like reading his comics and everything.
Yeah,
so that scene made me like so excited, just for like my like personal reasons, right?
I like seeing the Patch one because it's just kind of like rich.
Yeah, I kind of had to I did have to like double check, like, okay, am I catching on to the right Easter eggs? And I caught most of them. Yeah.
The Henry Cavill one was probably one of my favorites.
That's the most craziest one.
Because the line after that was what got me. Because Deadpool was like, we won't do you like the shit fucks down the street. I was like, oh, you can't say DCU, but you could say that.
Can I say this again? I got abs in like, because my sister-in-law said it correctly. I got abs after this movie. I laughed so much. This is the first time in a long time where I just laughed. Like,
same.
Consistently. On that note, can I also, because I was laughing that much, I felt like the jokes and like the references didn't feel as dated. And I say this as a like, I know some people may find it cringy, but in terms of comedy, I think Deadpool 2, all the jokes just felt kind of like,
it was outdated.
Outdated already. He's like, why are you talking about dubstep? Like, you know, like it was like that kind of thing. It just felt like he was a few years off. And I don't remember if it was the later or not, but, and let me know in the comics. I don't remember at this point. I don't remember
either.
But here it just felt like they took care of like the scripting. And I was worried about, and you reminded me, I actually was worried about the strike affecting this.
Yeah, it did a little bit because they did have to pause.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, I thought it was fine still. Like, this is still like all the quips, the references, all the one-liners were just really good this time, in my opinion. Because
I think this was like Ryan's baby.
I think so too. Because I think they did really well in 1, but they still like had to introduce the idea of it, right? 2, they went balls to the walls, but a little bit too hard, but kind of like dated.
It kind of missed the mark a little bit.
It missed the mark on like, it was like a 50-50 on the jokes. While here, I was consistently laughing, or at least like going like, haha, I get it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Deadpool was just like, hope I don't get canceled for saying
like, it was a lot of like, there's a lot of low hanging fruit. Let's say like ripping on Gen Z, or like ripping on like there was one other one I can't remember also. It was just consistent. Like, I think the one that felt very low was like just easy was this is so, why are you so Gen Z? Why can't you just like do like blah 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 blah? Like I was like, oh, okay. I think it's just funny how he's like, but then he goes to pegging, right? He goes into like, there's a range, and I feel like that's why it just felt easier, because it wasn't here versus like, oh, we have like a range of like, he's shitting on everyone. Honestly,
no, I agree.
It felt like a Deadpool comic to me at times.
Yeah,
I think this too kind of felt like
he actually like got it from the source. He actually read the source.
Probably. Man, let's see. So yeah, they had the whole Wolverine thing. Let me see.
I love it when Deadpool breaks the fourth wall. And like one of his, like he broke it immediately in the opening scene, but the one where he was at TVA and he like he walked to the camera, swiveled the camera a little bit, and took the mic, and he was like, "Oh, we made it!" and smash.
Screw you, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland.
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck you, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland." But also, the most important question is, why was Thor crying? Why was Thor crying?
We never got the answer to that. I thought that was going to be the end credit. No. It was better though. Okay, so we go through TVA and then we realize he gets Logan. He gets the Wolverine that we're talking about. It's not Logan, but it's like,
not Logan.
You know. Again, it's just crazy to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine.
He is ripped.
Consistent. I love how they make a joke on that too. He's like, he's actually having a shirt. He's not shirtless for once. Thank God.
Thank God. He's in the suit.
They toss him away because they're like, oh, we don't need you because he's trying to purge. Like the TVA guy's trying to purge.
Yeah.
Then we get introduced to like, again, they do a good job in like, they show stuff in trailers, but they didn't. The big reveals weren't there. Like, it was just like, oh, look, there's alternate versions of these guys. Sure. Can we just go through that real quick? Because they get surrounded. Again, this is... Oh, actually, before that. Wolverine versus Deadpool fight.
Oh, top tier.
Oh, so good.
And Deadpool is just like, are you ready? Are you ready for this fight?
I'm soaking. You nerds are probably soaking in your pants. I'm like, I am. Absolutely. They did that. Good. It's like, okay, yes. I know people were joking. It's like, oh, we had a fight in like Origins. I'm like, no, you shut up right now.
This is not the place for that movie.
Fox is dead.
Yeah.
The symbol's right there.
Dude, that was the best thing ever.
Gets tossed.
Panning over to like the 20th century logo, just kind of like in the ground.
In the ground. It's been there for ages.
It was good.
Nah, that fight was everything. That was just so good.
The slow-mo to like the gun, like Ryan just like reloading his gun. I was just like, yes, here we go again.
Yes. Even just seeing, I love that like Hugh Jackman consistently goes into pose, and it just felt good. It just felt so good. Like,
yes, he was like feral Wolverine.
It was right. It was just right.
It was just so good.
They have their fight. We have more cameo. He said it at the beginning though. He's like, "Oh, yeah. You mean I get gratuitous amount of cameos in here now?" Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, "Yes, please." So we see like them getting actually not yet. they introduced someone standing up top, telling them that they're coming. And they're like, who is this? Did you have an idea who it was?
No, I honestly didn't. But the moment I heard, I was just like, what is he doing here?
I couldn't even tell that well. Maybe it was just like I just didn't hear because I think everyone was just like freaking out in my theater.
Yeah.
I think what gave it away was when they showed the arm. Also, the first like red herring was the arm, and it made you think that it was, or you heard it was Chris Evans, and it made you think it was Captain America because
like a variant. Yeah.
Like just a variant because we've been introduced to MCU variants, right? At this point.
I knew it wasn't.
Johnny freaking Storm? Dude.
I knew it wasn't because Steve Rogers would not swear. In my head, I was just like, language, Steve, language.
But Steve has also grown as a person that he would possibly...
Well, yeah, like a different variant, probably. But I just kind of knew like it wouldn't be.
But it made sense, right? Because it's Fox.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's why they can just pull it. And my brother made a good point. He's like, oh, I just noticed. It's funny to see who noticed what, right?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, you heard the voice. He was like, oh, the hair is not blonde.
Yes.
And I was just like, I got baited by the arm. And I thought that was like, I fell for it. That was 100%.
And they did that on purpose. I think they did that
on purpose. 100%. Yeah. Like, easy grab. So I got tricked. I
love Johnny Storms.
I didn't think I'd miss that in so long, and I loved how he's like, and then after the whole thing, he explains like he mentions Reed Richards, all this stuff. Oh, it just feels good.
No, that was when I was first introduced to Chris Evans. Was like Fantastic Four. And I was like, he is the one for me.
It's funny because I think my wife made a good she just made a comment that like she's like, oh, it's so interesting to see like how. It's funny to see how he acts this way, and then Chris Evans like usually is playing like Captain America, so it's like totally different, right? I'm like, if anything though, it feels more like he's going back to what he usually plays because I felt like this is his character type, like playing the asshole, like
it's more often than not. I mean, it's the douchey guy.
Yeah. So I was like, if anything, it's easy for him.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you got like the trailer at the beginning with the whole red one.
Yeah.
It's also Chris Evans.
Yeah.
It's also playing douche guy.
So. But I mean, and this was Chris Evans' like first like superhero movie, like he got introduced into. And I think he even says in interviews that he really enjoyed being the Human Torch. Like it was just kind of like
I remember him saying like it just felt easier to play sometimes. Yeah. And then he's like, and then you go to Captain America and it's like very Captain America, right? Like it's yeah.
No, it was cool. That was so cool to hear him say flame on again. It's been years.
And then we also got going along because they bring back a ragtag group of bad guys here.
You mean Mad Max?
I was gonna be like, I mean Mad Max. You're right.
You mean Mad Max?
Sabretooth.
Yes.
Toad. Pyro. Toad. Okay, Pyro. I didn't recognize initially.
Yeah, he was in the first two X-Men movies.
First two, I think last two, like X2 for sure.
The last two, yeah.
Because
it was one of the first.
I could have sworn he was like he's in two of them. I could have sworn he was in X2 and Last Stand, right? But
yeah, but they brought him. That's the actual actor.
Because that's the actor. That's why I didn't recognize. Or I was like looking at him like he looks familiar, but why?
He aged a little bit.
He did. No, he aged. Let's be real. And but I was like, he has fire. Is it him? I couldn't think about it. I was like, all right, I'll check it when I get home. Yes, you're right. Yeah. It was Aaron Stanford. But just having Toad, and then like, I'm trying to think of who else was revealed at that point. But no, that's fine.
Sabretooth was cool.
Sabretooth versus Wolverine, instant done. I just like how he's like, oh, they're ready to fight. Oh,
Deadpool's like, yeah, fight.
Cuts off head, inserts Mad Max scene.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is I didn't expect it, but it was welcomed.
No, it was good. It was like a good like segue into like something that they made fun of. Mm-hmm. It was a bit like Game of Thrones-y like speech.
Yeah.
It was good.
I like how the use of the void, like this area was really cool, right? Like it makes sense because it's like they have to keep certain things.
And we've seen it.
We've seen it. Like if you haven't, If you haven't seen Loki season 1,
Episode 5.
episode 5 specifically, dude, I love that he dropped that. Because this is when they were
did.
meeting what's her name? Oh my
Cassandra.
God. Cassandra. And they mentioned like the monster thing. He's like, that's here? Oh my God. From Loki season 1, episode 5. Like just the delivery is always fun. I'm worried. So I'm trying to talk about this movie itself, but I feel like majority of the movie was just cameos. And then moving the plot.
Yeah, it was. And did you know that the actress that played Cassandra was Princess Diana in The Crown in like season 3 or 4? So she has range. Yeah.
No, I did not know that. Or
yeah, she was Princess
I didn't look
Diana.
into it, honestly. I try not to look into like too much. I just saw it. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But I didn't look into it.
Yeah, but she has so much range. She was a psycho
crazy.
in this movie, and then like,
and then,
you know, Princess
Rico
Diana.
in another.
Yeah.
Dang, that's cool. Oh my God. I'm trying to. Oh, I love how they just drop a lot of people when they get brought to. Actually, right before that, they're getting transported, and then like, Human Torch is talking to him about stuff, and he's like, "Oh, don't mess with this girl," and blah blah. And then I love when they meet Cassandra. They also drop a lot of characters around her, like who's grouping with her. Dude, Psylocke is there. Juggernaut is there.
It was nice to see
Azazel.
Jugger.
Yeah, Juggernaut is like, it's not the same guy, but
similar. I think similar in build.
similar in build, right? But it wasn't him. I remember.
No.
Azazel was there.
Yeah.
Which,
the girl that played, or I forgot her name, but it was like Olivia Munn.
Oh no, Psylocke. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Psylocke. Yeah.
It was not Olivia this time though.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
They did not have enough money.
I was about to be like,
have the budget.
I would have noticed.
They didn't have the budget.
Yep. It's so funny how they would talk about budget so much, and it's like, oh, who meets the requirements on all that? Yeah. So, see, again, there's just a lot of cameos, but it does kind of move the plot along, right? The Ant-Man body, though. The body of Ant-Man. I think in the trailer, I just thought it was the head.
It was the head, but this is the whole body.
They used his hand as the door.
Yeah.
I was like, I sat there, I'm like, okay, that's kind of messed up.
I know, right? I was just like, what's going on here? Because I remember the trailer, it was just the head. You just saw like this big Ant-Man head. Yeah. And then the movie just pans out like it's actually his entire body.
His entire body. I was like, oh no, that's messed up.
Yeah, it is.
Did you notice the cars? They used the Fantastic Four car.
Yeah, I did.
The Fantastic car, and I think they had Red Skull's car.
The Red Skull car too, yeah.
Dude, there's
so
much.
There's
so
a lot
much
of Easter
references.
eggs here.
That's why it's easier to talk about Easter eggs just because it's just so. I think that's the hype part for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. But also killing off Chris Evans because he was killing the budget.
Dude, that's so messed up. I love how
Ryan was just like
quoting him.
Hey.
This is how it is, and I'm like, oh, this is great. We're only like a third of the way of the movie.
I know.
Because there's just so much to I think that's what I was telling my wife after. I was like, there's so much to unpack here. There's so much
to unpack.
There's a lot to look into. This is what timeline is this? Is me looking into an MCU movie after I watch it.
The sacred one.
The sacred one. Oh, you're right. You're right.
It's the sacred one.
So
he's Marvel Jesus.
Because he's Marvel Jesus. They get beat. They fly away. They use one of the boots to fly away. I thought it was a I didn't look into this part. It looked like it was a Sentinel's foot that they flew off of.
Oh yeah, it did.
But because it was kind of big. It was like the height of
big.
like them. So I was like, okay, it could be.
Yeah.
I didn't look. Again, comment down below. Let me know what you think, or if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but. And then we get to this whole section. They're trying to find a way to essentially get back to TVA.
Yeah.
Honda,
leave the void.
Leave the void. They meet Nice Pool.
No. First of all, they met Dog Pool first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dog Pool first. Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
I didn't realize it was the ugliest dog. I didn't realize it was actually the ugliest dog from like.
Yeah.
They use. Tongue is real and everything. I was like,
yeah,
oh.
the ugliest dog.
Because
she's so cute though.
She is cute. She's adorable.
She's cute. Yeah.
It was just like you sent the interview after, and I avoided that one. I avoided a lot of things, but I thought that was funnier watching after. He's like, oh, how they had him lick everything, or had her lick him. It was just, again, the vibe of this movie is like the sexual overtones, not undertones,
overtones for sure. But Mary Poppins is cute.
And then Nice Pool.
And a nice pool with a nice face.
With a nice face.
Again, I just love how Deadpool was eyeing for his gold guns.
Oh yeah, gold magnums. Yeah, easy.
He's being such a nerd. He's like, oh wow.
He's like, you have those? He's like, yeah. Why not? I was like, And then they get the Honda Odyssey, and they just drive off, right?
Yes, coexist.
Did you expect them to like they had another fight? I love their dynamic, because then Logan gets mad in that, oh, you don't know, like, what was it? Wishful, not think wish, but what do you call it? Educated wish. And he's like, oh, screw that, and they have their whole fight, dude.
Yeah,
I love that they consistently like just have them butting heads the entire time.
They're bickering. That was my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes. It's a top tier van fighting scene that you would totally expect Deadpool and Wolverine to do.
Yep.
And coexist. No, yeah. That was like my favorite part. Because it got serious. The undertones like actually got serious for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like Deadpool's just like silent. And he goes, I'm gonna fight you.
I'm gonna fight you now. It's because like Logan just calls him out on his like BS, right? And it's like, it's true. It makes sense. And this is like probably the typical MCU problem, is like balancing serious and like comedic timings and like tones. Here, it finally felt like I think it felt like a good balance here with Deadpool, because with Deadpool, I expect a higher percentage comedy versus like seriousness.
But then like you add in Wolverine, and he's just kind of like this sad, lonely character that we all know, right? Yeah. Like grumpy. So you would expect Wolverine to just go off on him out of an educated wish.
You said that it was you promised me. I was like, uh-oh. Honestly, when he tried to avoid getting killed, he's like, oh, I promised that we can do this. I'm like, oh, there it is. Yeah, that's the issue.
And yeah, I love the quote, "You really are God's perfect idiot."
It's beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Now, what's more beautiful is they get taken away, or someone takes the car because they're like passed out. Deadpool's tied up with the seatbelt.
The seatbelts. He's like mummified.
I was like, where's all this belt coming from?
He's like so much belt mummified from the seatbelt.
Yeah, and Logan's just like passed out next to him. Oh man, dude. Now the next part, I don't think I expected this at all. Was one, Jennifer Gardner. First, it was just like people coming in, right? Jennifer Gardner, did not expect that. Then Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
Didn't expect that. Oh, and then I lost my absolute innards on this part.
Me too. Channing Tatum as Gambit. 10 years in the making, Harrison. That's 10 years in the making. I was like gnawing at my seat.
We talked about this, I remember, in college, like years ago, like the what if to this part.
What if? And you know what? Yeah, and they like announced him in 2014.
They announced him straight up. Like, they're like,
but nothing ever happened. Yeah.
Poor guy. And then they brought him back. I was like, oh, his dialect coach was working.
Well, not working that well.
Or not working that well. My bad.
No, but that was like a choice I think Channing just did because it's just, poking fun.
Yeah.
It was fun because this is like Fox's like Marvel. Mm-hmm. Like all of their properties. So it was cool to see. Also love that Ryan and Wesley Snipe
put aside their differences.
Put aside their feud.
to do this.
Have a feud.
Yeah, definitely. Again, all the commentary throughout this, again, I think it's just a lot more. It's comedic if you understand like what's going on. Like for instance, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about Daredevil" to like Jennifer Garner, and she's like, "I don't care,"
because
her ex-husband. Yeah, why would she say it's fine? It's
yeah,
like, and then like he's like, "Oh," and then Wesley Snipes or Blade's like, "I don't like you." He's like, "You never did."
Yeah.
Or even like Channing Tatum, like Gambit just talking about like his existence. He's like, sometimes I just think maybe I was just born here, like off the bat.
Yeah.
Was I there when you were as well? I was like, you were born here because you never left.
You were
tossed
left.
away.
I love that Channing Tatum got to do this.
Yes, and it looked so good. Like honestly, they played off the kinetic energy so well.
Yes,
they did everything like how I wanted for Gambit. Like even the hair, the head,
the headpiece,
like outfit. Oh, it was just so good. Even like the accent was like
accent.
It's over the top, but it was really good. Like it just felt Gambit, right?
It was meant to be over the top, and I think Channing Tatum knew that.
Yes.
And just the card play, especially when you go down like in the later sequences, but like it was nice to see it in action.
Yeah. Compared to what we got in Origins, like which was not, we get like a cool-ish scene, but not like
not
same.
like yeah.
It was literally just hey, here's Gambit. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Checking off the list.
Yeah. No, but it was cool.
Yeah.
And I knew X-23 she would be there.
See, I did not know that.
I knew it because I mean in
Actually,
Logan.
no. I think I heard.
Mm-hmm.
No, you know what? That was probably one thing I did get, but I wasn't surprised, right? I felt like it was kind of a given. I guess for
Wolverine,
me,
Logan, like,
yeah,
they were like good
and
together.
and it was hinted that it was multiverse anyway, so I figured, okay, if they're gonna bring in Logan, they're gonna bring in X23.
And she was the one from Logan.
Yep,
she grew up.
Because then they have this whole fight scene later. They're talking about invading and then they're getting back. Blah blah. She even puts on the glasses.
Yeah, she has the glasses still.
And she goes fucking feral.
Just like her papa.
Just like her papa.
Her dad. I love that we got introduced to the one and only Blade for Deadpool to break the fourth wall and be like, really?
I'm the one and only.
Are you? And they reintroduced Blade in before the new movie even comes out.
That's true.
Ironic, funny, best line, because Wesley Snipes probably like, I'm the one and only.
He says it too. He's like, they ain't gonna get and it's like in IRL, he's like, nah, they ain't gonna do this right.
Yeah.
And they brought him back. I was like, dude, that's actually crazy. That's cool. I love how they name drop a lot of people though. Like throughout this whole thing, like they name drop Punisher too. Like how Punisher died in the void when he tried to attack Cassandra. Deadpool's like, which one?
Oh yeah.
And I forgot how many have played, but because I only think about John Berthal, but there are
me too.
3, Ray Stevens, Thomas Jane. There's a lot of them, right?
There's a couple.
I had to look into it because I was like, wait, which one? Oh god, there was a lot, wasn't there?
But we don't think about the other ones really.
Yeah, not recently, no, because John Berthal did a really good job.
No, he did.
But and at this point, you know what I want to also add? I think pacing at this point, it just felt like it flowed so well. Like
even Deadpool said it himself. He's like, "We're in Act 3, don't worry."
No, I was gonna say not that I needed it, but I appreciate that the entire time he's like kind of hinting at what act they're in.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, is this gonna be like an Act 3 like flashback that we're gonna wait for down the line, or is this like now in Act 2? Like, it's like now we're in Act 3, and he's like, we're in the home stretch now. Just hold on."
Yeah.
Like, I just like how they just gave us not that I needed it, but they gave us the cues.
They also made fun of the runtime too. They were like, "Don't worry, it's not going to be that long."
It's not going to be that long, but I'm also dragging because I'm trying to,
Yeah.
Everyone's like used to long run times anyway, so
it's fine. No, but that fighting scene with like everyone. It was just so nice to see everyone fight. It was just so good.
So good.
I forget that Jennifer Garner is she can fight. She hasn't been doing like movies like that in a while where she actually has to fight and stuff because she's getting older. So she does a lot of like rom-coms or just like TV shows. So her becoming Elektra again was great. It's perfect.
So good. Essentially they beat Cassandra, but they go through this whole thing. Like, I actually do like, did you wonder like how bad, like, because they kept saying this is the worst Wolverine. I kind of had this expectation of like how bad it could be.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, they went with the safe route of like, not saying safe, but like they went with the route that like I kind of expected was, oh, he just didn't save the X-Men.
The X-Men, yeah.
I took it one step further and I was expecting the worst. I was like, oh, what if he's the one that killed them? Like,
yeah.
He, like actually like went out and like killed them and all that, right? Like went to a feral rate. Like he mentioned like he went feral and they did all this. I was like, oh, but they were already dead. I was like, okay. Yeah, I think.
Name
but
dropped
I think
Jean. They name dropped, Magneto. Funny enough.
No budget.
No budget.
Storm, Beast.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, Scott says Professor X a lot.
Yes.
Because then we realized, oh, Cassandra's like the twin. Because yes, there's twins. Usually it was a different character, but they made. I love how it's like, oh, they gender bent this one.
Yeah.
The woke crowd's not gonna like this.
I just love how Deadpool is just like, oh, I don't really care about gender either.
I don't see gender.
I don't see gender.
Again, I laughed so much in this movie. It was great. They beat her, and then because they X-23 decapitated Juggernaut. I was like, oh my god, that's crazy.
And I knew she would because she was going a little crazy.
Yeah.
It was nice to see her. I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And I love that it was just like she was like actually from Logan. Like they talked about their timeline. And like
they kept referencing it a lot.
And then she kept and she actually talked to this Wolverine. And she was just like, yeah, you're not even the right guy. She was always like, you're always the wrong guy. Like,
no, because he said that a lot in the movie. He's like, you got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
You got the wrong guy, bub. Like, he says that so much. And then I just love that she said that too. Like, you're always the wrong guy. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh.
And then she just knew. She just knew him. She's like, you're different, but also not.
Yeah.
Like there's like a familiar, like they were familiar with each other.
Yeah. But I mean, it was like she had her, she.
Yeah.
It's Logan to her still, right? So it's always like nice to make that connection. And it's heartwarming. It's great.
Yeah.
See, again, it's you have Wolverine for like the serious tones because you have to at that point, right? Like, because there is actually like darkness and like drama or trauma too.
He is traumatic.
He is traumatic to his core.
No pun intended.
Yeah. But so again, I think the plot's very easy because it's just like they're trying to get back to their home, but then TVA is just playing a role. It's really just like moving from scene to scene to scene.
Yeah.
Because now we get back to like they're the right universe and they're confronting that TVA guy because she's about to blow the whole place.
Yeah.
I just love that they do show how scary Cassandra is at like a power level.
Crazy.
Because they did it off the bat with Chris Evans, right? With like Human Torch and just pulling his skin off.
Yeah. He's just kind of gone after that.
Yeah.
Or how she just like gets into like people's heads. Like I was like, oh,
every time she does that, I'm like, oh no, this is like the
oh
god.
Oh, especially like poking out of like the eyes and nostrils. I was like, oh,
it's like, it's always I got the ache every time.
Yeah, me too.
When she was doing that.
And it was nice because like she was like, oh yeah, my brother can do it without hand. Yeah,
but I have to have
like.
They gave a reasoning, and I was like,
it was too much. It was a lot.
Yeah. Ooh. But yeah, as she's like trying to do stuff, she's like, oh, I brought some friends to hold off, and we get even more cameos and more references, and oh my god, this was beautiful. We get the Deadpool core, and
it was good.
It was good. Poor Nice Bull.
Oh no, the human shield.
He's like, you did that on purpose. Like Wolverine's like, you did that on purpose. You used him as shield. No, I didn't. He's gonna heal. What about
Oh.
And then you realize he can't regenerate. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh god, oh no. And I love how they like bring him like he's like, I'm gonna get to that donut cart.
The donut cart.
It's essentially just a hospital, a mobile hospital. I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like dragging Nice Pool along. He's like, you're gonna live. Say it.
Say it.
I'm gonna live. And then head blows off. He's like, oh god, and he runs.
And I love how all of the Deadpools love Mary Poppins. They can't shoot.
Because Wolverine just walks across.
Yeah.
He's like, they're like hold. You can't do anything to Mary Poppins.
You can't. She's the ugliest dog.
I know they have this whole fight sequence, but can we just talk about all the Deadpools that they introduced here? Because oh my god,
yes.
so many. This is where I lost my shit. Lady Deadpool, obviously.
Lady Pool, love her.
Pool. That was in the trailer. One of the trailer couple. They never unmasked her, which I wasn't. No. Which makes sense. I was expecting a Blake Lively reference, but they did do
a Gossip Girl, but Blake Lively just voiced her. I think that was just a body
which
double.
Makes sense because at this point she was pregnant, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I think their baby was Baby Pool. Their fourth kid was Baby Pool.
Baby Pool. Yeah. I was like, you told I looked at it after and you're like, their baby. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, their fourth kid was Baby Pool, which was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, 1 year old, like young, makes sense. It's gonna be so funny. Obviously, Head Pool. Mm-hmm. Kid Pool. Yes. Kid Pool was probably one of their kids, right? I assumed.
I think so.
I think it was. I think.
One of the older ones.
Older ones, yeah. First or second, I'd assume.
Yeah. And I like it because they don't unmask them because Ryan and Blake, they don't show their kids' faces. Yes. So this was like kind of like perfect.
Yeah. So it just worked out, honestly.
It just worked out. The whole family could be in here.
It was adorable.
You know. It was cute.
Yeah, Baby Pool. They did Cowboy Deadpool. Voiced by Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
I sat there and I'm like, hold on.
Budget-friendly guy.
First Brad Pitt, now this guy.
Yeah.
I love how like they're just getting certain people and it's just like, dude, what the?
And you know what? Ryan would be able to get these people in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Zenpool. Dude, Zenpool? I was like, at first I sat there, I'm like, oh, why does this guy look familiar? And then I had to look at it after. I'm like, oh, Zenpool from I forgot what that event was. All of a sudden, I can't talk right now. There's just so much going on.
There was a lot. No, that was cool. That was just like all 100 of them.
Because they focused on the main ones too, actually. Because they focused on the samurai one. So the fool.
Samurai one. That was cool.
Yeah.
He was just like hee.
And then I think the hardest focus, and the one that was probably most noticeable too, was Deadpool 2099. Mm-hmm. The one that was when she was like, she had like a lot of like lights, like neon kind of.
Yeah.
So.
No,
I love this so much. I could not. I had lost my shit.
But you know which Deadpool I enjoyed the most? Peter.
I love how everyone respects Peter.
They're like,
Peter. And our Deadpool's like, oh god, oh no, he's gonna, and then everyone's like, it's Peter.
We love you, Peter.
This is like this. It's moments like this where it's like it feels Deadpool. Like I felt like I was reading a comic book.
Yeah. That fighting sequence is cool too.
The coolest sequence, I think, the coolest focus was, and it felt like a panel where they jump out after they fight everyone. They jump out at the back of the bus. Wolverine has like the legitimate jumping pose.
Yes.
That I know from like fighting games. I know from all this stuff, and they like because they have them jump
the
in the same way.
Animated series. Yeah.
Everything. And I was like, oh, they did it.
In the suit with the mask on. It was perfect. It was perfection. Perfect.
And then the ending, that
it?
Was crazy. I liked it. I thought it was cool. Made sense. I like how it's like worded well, and that like they're like, oh, one person does it. Like they have to combine the thing, antimatter and like matter.
Matter, yeah.
And if they can hold it, they die. But if you have two people, you're fine.
You're fine. A shirtless.
The gratuitous shirtless scene for Wolverine.
He was finally
rips off
here.
shirt. Not just gratuitous, but it rips off.
His mask stayed on though.
His mask stayed on. Oh, the mask was so good. Again,
Yes, it
just want to add
was.
that.
I love how Deadpool was just like looking. He was just like, "Oh, this is shirtless
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine."
Oh my gosh. No, he just looks. He's like, it's what the audience thinks. Like, nice, nice. But happy ending, and yeah, I guess. Oh, Peter Riz, insane. B-15 all over that.
I know, right? She's
Uh,
like, "You look good in this suit."
He's like, oh. But yeah, it just ended with like everyone the universe is fine. If anything, it's regenerating. Because I think that's cool. Because it's like, oh, it's regenerating, as in like it's gonna continue forward, right? It's not just like they're keeping this. They're safe. They're in the clear.
Good.
We can have more Deadpool.
Yes, we can.
Gosh, I know we just went through like a lot of stuff. Like, as in, like, just cameos, because I felt like that was the entire movie, and that's what kind of moved it on.
Yeah.
But it was just fun. I think overall, like, I think my sister-in-law said it best. It's not like a cinematic masterpiece and like, oh, the plot's amazing, but
It's simple.
it's just simple and it's fun.
It's for the monkey brain, us.
Yeah. But I think that's it.
I think that's it too.
Overall, it's been fun. It's been good. So I think I don't want to drag this out too much. It's already been like an hour. So
It's fine.
overall, it's been fun. I think we just talked about the fun stuff that we liked. So I guess I'll just close it out. Is there anything else you want to add?
No. Just coexist. That's all.
Just coexist. Also, yes, Chris Evans said all those things.
Yes.
Good ending. But I'm going to end it here. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on all our socials at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, comment down below. Let us know what you thought, what you liked or didn't like. Did we miss anything else? Is there any other Easter eggs? I feel like that's all we talked about because that's what
all we
I was hyped
did talk about.
Smash all those buttons from right to left. Subscribe, and that's it.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.